Hello everybody, welcome to Sensible Fitness, and in today's video we're going to look at why you should avoid processed food and start eating more whole foods. The information in the video will be both for eating better for fat loss as well as eating better for general health and nutrition. So let's start with fat loss here. Why should you avoid processed food if you're trying to lose fat, if you're trying to get rid of excess body fat? As we've already seen from several videos I've already done, that the only way to lose fat is to be in a caloric deficit, which means that you should be eating less calories than you actually burn throughout the day. Now, while you could increase your activity and you could increase the amount of stuff that you do throughout the day and hope to increase the calories you burn, your best chance of succeeding will be if you actually get your nutrition in control, because your nutrition will play a huge part in your fat gain or fat loss. So it is best to focus on nutrition as well. And obviously, when it does come to nutrition, you are trying to have fewer calories while still being able to feel satiated throughout the day. So you want to eat less but feel full. And this is one of the reasons why you should avoid processed food here, because processed foods are not made keeping calories in mind. They're often made keeping taste in mind because they're foods that want to be sold. Now, they're not going to necessarily be made for your health, they're going to be made so you can eat it, so that it's tasty enough that you want to actually buy it and want to actually eat it. So what happens is, in order to make food more tasty and to make food more appealing, they pack food with tons of sugar, with tons of corn syrup, and with other similar sweetening carbohydrates like that. Now, a note here, sugar in and of itself isn't bad. Right? Sugar in and of itself isn't bad. You have sugar in a ton of different forms. You can find sugar in fruits as well. You can find it in different kinds of vegetables as well. So sugar in and of itself isn't bad. But as we've discussed in the calories and net calories video, sugar is one of the least complex forms of carbs, which means that the amount of energy it actually takes to convert it from its raw form to its finished form or to its usable form is actually very, very less. Plus, it's not so much the sugar that's the problem. It's also the fact of how much sugar is actually there in these kinds of foods, because the amount of sugar, the amount of high fructose corn syrup in these kinds of foods is exceedingly high. And what that eventually does is, because you're having so much sugar and because you're having so much corn syrup, is that eventually means that you're having a lot of calories. And when you're having a lot of calories, that makes fat loss very, very difficult. And that's why you should avoid processed foods here. The second reason you should avoid it is because, unlike whole foods, for example, say your vegetables or your fruits or stuff like that, when it comes to processed foods, these are foods that have been designed to be more appealing. Be it the taste, be it the packaging, the color of the packaging, the way that a particular food has been designed, the shape of your whatever it be, your chips, your biscuits, whatever. Companies have spent millions and millions of dollars making, testing, packaging, and of course, marketing these foods and trying to make them as accessible and as desirable as possible. Now, you could go to any store in India and you will find some form of chips there. You can find, Lay's, Kurkure, whatever. You will find something there. Processed foods are designed to be consumed. So they're not designed to keep you satiated. They're designed to keep you eating more and more and more, because the more you eat, the more you'll buy. The more you buy, the more money they make. Simple stuff. Now, what this means for you is that when you eat more, you are obviously having more calories. And again, even though you have more calories, you won't feel satiated, you won't feel full, which is why you will eat even more, thereby having even more calories. And obviously, when it comes to fat loss, having more and more calories is bad. And this is actually one thing that you can't really see in whole foods, because human beings have evolved to be satiated and to be satisfied on whole foods and not really gorge ourselves on whole foods. And on this, there's actually a huge myth that fruit makes you fat, that having fruits, because fruits have sugar, that they make you fat. And to this I say, show me one person who has become morbidly obese by eating fruits, and I'll show you someone who has has done that intentionally with a lot of focus. For example, a bodybuilder who's trying to increase their weight to be able to lift more weight. Or B, I'll show you a liar, Someone who says that they've gotten obese by eating just fruit, but actually they've probably had a lot of other, very processed foods or foods that are very, very high in caloric value. And that's why they have become morbidly obese. Now, in fat loss, generally a calorie is considered a calorie. So every calorie is considered equal because ultimately in fat loss, what really matters is that you be in a caloric deficit, right? If you're in a caloric deficit, you lose fat. If you're in a caloric surplus, you gain fat. We've discussed this in countless videos before, which you can watch right over there, by the way. But when it comes to nutrients, not every single nutrient is the same. Because, of course, when you're trying to eat healthier and when you're trying to not just focus on fat loss, but focus on eating better, it's not just about what you eat, it's about the quality of nutrients that you're ingesting. So, for example, if you have, let's say, potassium from, say, a chips, right? Let's say you're having Lay's chips, and on the packet it's written potassium so many grams. Now, that potassium will not have the same nutritional quality of, say, having a banana. The reason for this is that when nutrients are processed, that is, when they are exposed to heat and light, they actually do change. So, heat and light does affect the nutrients and does alter the quality of your nutrients that you're ingesting. And usually you will see better quality nutrients in whole foods, which is why people are often told to start eating more whole foods and to sort of phase out processed foods. So ultimately, what does this mean for you? Do you have to give up processed foods? Do you have to like just cut out every single thing that you eat in your life that has been processed? Do you have to give up chips, pizzas, everything? Do you have to go vegetarian, vegan, and just have like only organic foods? So ultimately, no, you don't. Everyone can definitely benefit from having less processed food, from eating more vegetables, from eating more whole foods, and you start having more nutritionally dense foods, which generally are fruits, vegetables, and stuff like that. This once again does not mean that you have to cut it out entirely. I don't. I still have processed food every now and again. Every now and then I will have a pizza, I will have a burger, and yeah, because I just enjoy the taste of that, so I will have it. It doesn't mean you have to cut it out entirely, but for health and for your own fat loss, your own health, it would be very, very beneficial to have more whole foods, to have more vegetables in your food, to have more fruits in your food, and slowly cut out your processed food as well. Thank you very much for watching. That was the video on why you should reduce your consumption of processed food and why you should increase your intake of whole foods. If you like the video, like, share, subscribe. Please do click the bell icon so you'll be notified anytime a new video drops. If you're interested in conversations about music, please do check out the Basic Trouble podcast. If you're interested in gaming, please do check out that Indian Gamer. If you have any doubts regarding this video, if you have any topic ideas which you would like me to turn into a full video, please leave them in the comments down below, or you can contact me at my email ID or and my Instagram handle. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.